Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, as the case may be. How are we doing, guys? We're going to do a little bit of forearm work today. We're going to talk about what happens at the wrist joint, what happens at the elbow joint, and go through, if we remember how to do it. Let's have a look. I'll put my arm at my side. If we're going to use the extensors when we've got straight arms, all we do, bend the wrist. Okay, so the palm is facing down to the floor. Okay, and if we're going to do flexors of the forearm, all we do is do it like so, so as the knuckles face down to the floor. The other thing that we got to do is our little finger side of our hand, if we bend it up so as our thumb points down to the floor, that's adduction of the wrist. And if we do it so as our little finger is nearest to the floor, that's abduction. They're the things that we got to worry about at the wrist joint. Extension, bending it like so, flexion, which is like so, abduction, which is like so, and adduction, which is bending downwards. Okay, they're the things at the wrist joint. At the elbow joint, what we're going to do is rotate. Okay, so our palm is facing to the floor. Okay, and then we're going to rotate upwards and rotate back down. What that's doing is really engaging the forearm, and you've got the brachialis radius and the brachialis. They're going to be used in that particular movement of rotating the hand, so it's palm up, palm down. Also the biceps going to help you there, and the shoulder's going to be used to stabilise everything in that position so as we can do it. Okay, the pieces of equipment that we're going to use today, and these are going to be a treat today to use, because I was thinking, how can I use a sledgehammer? And I have got a martial arts background, and many years ago, and I'm talking about centuries, not in my years, they used to use, and it was geared towards like soldiers basically. They used to use a mace, and it was weighted at one end to clobber your skull and bust it open. But basically, all it is, this weighs 3.5 kilos by itself. Okay, I've got two collars on this end. I'll just bring it up. All it is, two collars on this end, and then because of the length of it, you're going to be holding it here. If you put 0.5 kilo on this end, it's going to feel like it weighs a ton. Okay, by itself, it's a challenging exercise by itself because it weighs 3.5 kilos. But there you go. All I've done is took one of them old, cheap, hollow bars, cut the bit off where you put the weights there, and then I've allowed myself for 6 0.5 kilos to go on this. That is going to be way enough weight. So it's a very easy tool to use, and I'm calling it, because I've thought about a sledgehammer first, I can't call it a sledgehammer, so I'm going to call it the long hammer bell. Okay? And it's really a nice piece of equipment to use. So that's one of the pieces of equipment that we're going to use. And the next piece is the good old trusty fat bar. Okay? And that's easy. Yeah, you know about that. And that will come along later. Okay, so let's get into the exercises. With this, the way it works is really hard. And some of the strongmen used to use this as well. You know, the old time strongmen. You know, going back in time again. But the martial arts people used to use them as well to develop their defensive skills. And you know, there's a lot of people who use these style of exercises because when you pick up something with your hand like so, yeah, you're using a tremendous amount of muscle. So for instance, you could do, what we're going to do is, I'm going to stand to the side so you can see what's happening. Okay, so what we're going to do is get into position. So we need to get a tight grip. Okay, and all we're going to do, we've got our tight grip and we're going to do adduction first. So we're here, we get a tight grip, our little finger is there. Okay, now all we're going to do, stand up straight and we're going to do 8 reps. So we go, bring it as high as possible, 1. Let it go down, 2. And control it. And then 3. You'll develop hand strength a lot better. 4. 5. 6. And this is adduction, remember? 7, 8. And then we go in and we move in to abduction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is like handling a sword as well. So anybody who's using any kind of racket, you can develop out of this. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to go into the rotation exercises, and I'm going to do this facing the camera. Yeah, you've got to keep that bend in your arms constant. But what I'm looking to do is go all the way in and let it take you as low as that will take you. So you're actually rotating and it's forcing you round. And then what I want to do is go from there, there's the start and finish position, go all the way over. Back to the start position. 1. 2. Controlling it all the time. 3. Don't let it drop down, control it. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then you would go again on your other arm. So let's go, and remember the speed that we go. And what we want to do, hold it, get it in position, squeeze the bar. 1, 2. The harder we squeeze, the more muscle we're going to use. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn it round and do the other way. Remember, squeeze to make all your muscles work. If you don't do it and you just go through the motions, you're not going to get the desired result. So squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, then we're going to turn to the side. Basically, there we go. Squeeze, get your arm into the L shape, and then rotate. So squeeze, let it bring you into position, start position. Finish position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, a really good tool to be using, or a bit of kit. Okay, easy to make, easy to use, and what we've done is we've done a tricep for one arm at a time, and you can't beat what is called unilateral training. When we're doing both arms together, we're doing bilateral training. So unilateral is one arm at a time, or one leg at a time, and unilateral is 2 arms at a time or both legs together. So bilateral is 2 legs together and 2 arms together. Unilateral is 1 arm or 1 leg. I'll get it right in a minute. Right, next exercises is dealing with extension of the wrist, and it's going to use the brachialis muscles here to bend the forearm. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a fat bar, but I'm just going to explain these to you. So we're going to do the wrist extensions first. So we're going to do 8, and then we lock our wrist into position, and then we do 8 reverse wrist curls. Okay, so let's get the bar and show you what I mean. So I'm going to do it on the side. So what we're going to do, and all you're going to do is take a shoulder width grip, do it to the side. So all we're going to do is we've got our weight here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we lock into position there, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? The next exercise, and the reason we've done it extensors first, okay, is because they're usually the weaker exercise. So what I'm trying to program up here is the next time you grab that bar, you're putting weight on it because you're doing the wrist curl for the flexors, and they're stronger. Okay? So what we're going to do, shoulder width, okay, and we're going to go lock into position when we've finished the wrist flexions and go into the gooseneck reverse curl. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lock into position, lock in, and away we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put that away now, because we've finished. So, we're always trying to look for a variety of ways to train our body. The reason being is because if you keep doing a certain style of exercise all the time, you will get injured. Simple. And that's what people don't tell you. Yeah. And what we get confused about, let me take a seat here, is we think if we do more of something, it's actually better. And that's not the case. And, you know, because you will get, and I'll give you a little silly example, somebody who's using the keyboard all day. They're doing that every day of their life. And I'll guarantee you, there's a lot of people out there with overuse. Got wind. Overusage injuries, like carpal tunnelling injuries. Yeah, basically it's swelling up in the hand and creating pressure. And that's what you don't want to get. You don't want to get overusage injuries like that. So some days we could do extensions and flexions of the wrist with elbow flexion, and then other days we could do the hammer bell, for instance, with abduction, adduction and rotation. We're still using the same muscles, but we're not using the same exercise pattern. They're in a different exercise pattern. So You can use them together if you want, that's not a problem, but what I'm trying to explain here is give yourself some variety in your training program. If you don't, you're going to land up walking your way into a brick wall, and that's when you get platters as well, because there's no fresh stimuli, mainly for your brain. Your brain's the thing that's going to get bored, okay? And when your brain gets bored, and this is when you push yourself too far and you find yourself going, oh, why can't I bench this? That's giving yourself doubt. So we don't want that doubt creeping in. So we want to do a program for X period of time and then stay on that kind of program, but just rearrange things a little bit differently. You know, you may start off on sort of a fitness level and do 20 reps a set. And then the following month you might do 15 reps because the weights are getting heavy. And then the next month you might reduce that to 10 reps because the weights have got so heavy. Okay? But then, that is 3 months gone by. Then you start a new program and then you dive back up to 20 reps on each exercise that you choose. And that way, you have to go light, and that actually, you're still training and you're recovering, but you're getting used to the exercises that you're using. I'm hearing on the internet, deload and you don't train for a week. Well, me, I don't like that kind of approach because that's a lazy approach. As far as I'm concerned, that's the lazy way out, that's the easy way out, you know. And you should have, every 3 months, you should have a week off. That's not a problem. A solid week off where you go, yes, I've finished my program for 3 months. You hit it really hard for 3 months and then you have a week off. That's not a problem. That's an earned week off. And you can even do fitness tests in that particular week. So, what I'm going to say is hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you find my content to your liking. And watch out for the next video. Take care, guys and girls. Oh, and Tom, this is the one I was talking about, especially for you. Take it easy, young man.